wake up, feel the light, a brand new day in sight. Conversations that uplift, setting your dreams alight. Mindset shifts, empowering quotes, fueling your fire, keeping you afloat. Stay inspired daily, let your spirit soar. Our love language is value, giving you more. Join the conversation, every word counts. Motivation matters in large amounts. Stay inspired daily, let your spirit soar. Our love language is value, giving you more. Join the conversation, every word counts. Motivation matters in large amounts. Uplifting chats, start your day, guiding you gently, showing the way. Empowering words, a soothing balm. In our platform, find your calm. Mindset shift, embrace the change. Stay inspired, let your goals arrange. Daily motivation, your daily lift. You got this, embrace the gift. Hashtag shift, embrace the change. Stay inspired, let your goals arrange. That's the daily motivation, your daily lift. You got this, embrace the gift. Stay inspired daily, let your spirit soar. Our love language is value, giving you more. Join the conversation, every word counts. Motivation matters in large amounts.
I don't know.
Good night, each and everyone. Welcome to the Conversation Motivational Date Night with yours truly, SGGR, Seon Gregory Gomes Rodney. Welcome to our tribe, welcome to our village, and certainly welcome to our community. This August body where our love language is value. Our sweet spot is value. Our mantra is value. We believe in the reciprocal nature of value. I want to tell you this tonight. We are in for a treat tonight. Tonight is gonna be on 10. We're gonna be digging our knee, we're gonna be digging our toes down. We're gonna be working with synergy, working in tandem. We're gonna be hands in glove. Tonight, I want to tell you, gonna be a shock expectation. We have a guest tonight, I want to tell you, and our topic tonight is not gonna always be like this. But I'm gonna do what I know to do best, because Apostle J.D. Posad is not with us tonight because of unforeseen circumstances. But tonight we want to say happy birthday to all those who celebrate a birthday. Happy anniversary to all those who celebrate an anniversary. Congratulations to those who bring a bundle of joy into this world, bring the next leader into this world. We celebrate that moment with you. Moving from renting to owning. Congratulations. Purchase a new car. Increase in salary. Promotion on your job. Our sympathy and empathy go to those who has lost a loved one in this time of bereavement. We pray that Yahweh HaMashiach, the promised Messiah, will comfort you in this time of your bereavement. With that being said, tonight is the night that we gonna hear for the first time to our tribe, to our community, to our village of this August platform, where we are the construction crew, where we build people up to build their morals, build people up to find their identity, gain their momentum, find their sweet spot, help them the mental health, re-enter them into society that they can function and have an awesome trajectory. Shout out to the Conversation Motivational Date Night, Conversation Zero to Hero TV family, Conversation Small Business Community, Conversation Global Community family, and once again, a Conversation Together with Rise Ministry. With that being said, I have with me tonight the amazing God's Choice vessel, God's Choice. She will introduce what preneur she's going to be in terms of her studies, in terms of her job. But tonight, governed by this platform, 5 minutes you are a visitor or a stranger, but after 5 minutes you're a family. So I have the amazing Jennifer McKay, and she will give a better introduction of herself, and we're going to take it from there. While tonight our topic is, it will always be like this. I hand you over to no other than the amazing Jennifer McKay.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Pastor Seon. How you doing tonight? How you doing, everyone? So, Jennifer McKay, I'm one sister of Pastor Seon Church. My top, just being on here, I'm just excited to be on the show tonight. This was something unexpected, but I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to talk about things that, what Pastor Seon always talk about, is interested. I'm also a social worker. I work for several places. It's just excited just to be on the show with Pastor Seon. He's a funny man, very energetic, and he's just have all this energy. Sometimes I wish if I could have half of his energy, but I thank God just to be on his show tonight, just to showcase what a great man of God he is, and just talk about the things that we're going to talk about tonight. And we hope that it edify the people out there who is watching.
So once again, thank you. And family, I want you to know that this was extremely a very short order notice. And I love when I have people that I can press the pulse and they can rise to the occasion. If you do not know what you just did, saying yes, raise your dividend of our friendship. Raise the dividend of our camaraderie. I want to tell you that it takes a special taking for you rise to the occasion with 10 minutes of you rising to the occasion to come to the world center stage. So once again, thank you very much. And I can see the family is already welcoming you. I see Minister Cleveland Harley Quinn say good night, everyone. And you say, wow, she is fired up, lady. So you're already welcoming by the family, of the Conversation family. And we are a bunch of people. We are warm and we are welcoming and we are all about valuing. And I know tonight you're going to feel valued, from the comment section. You're going to feel valued from the family. And we're going to chop it up tonight. Welcome, Siobhan Cummins. Welcome, Pamela Corlett. And once again, welcome, Minister Cleveland Harley Quinn. Did I miss anyone? And once again, we want to say happy Super Soul Sunday. We know it's Super Bowl in the USA, but we call it Super Soul. That's what we do. You understand? We're good at wordsmithing, word kind. It's Super Soul. I'm also seeing that you are a social worker in the social work space. This month also, February, is also deemed as Heart Month, Heart Health Month. And a lot of people we want to encourage to go and get your heart checked out. We go make sure everything is right and so on with your heart and so on. Welcome, Apostle J.D. Prasad and so on, because your health is your wealth. Even though society, where culture way, help us to understand that your wealth sometimes come above your health. But sometimes you may acquire the wealth, but you don't have the health to spend the wealth that you have. So once again, we have the amazing Jennifer McKay. And this is one, we come a very far way, laying the backdrop so you can understand where we're going to go tonight. We met a very, 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 very long time. And, we are very good friends, and she is now a member of our local assembly and so forth and such. Like, she's a social worker, and I love to when we can have more our conversations is always on we learning from each other. We learn at least a big word, we learn a phraseology for the week. And we have some standards that we set that we make sure that something can be futuristic and goal oriented in the educational space. And I want to thank you for challenging me in terms to make sure I go and do research and stuff like that. You see, as I said, you can't go as far as you dream. You go as far as your team. And I have a team that many people do not know. Some of my team, they works in the shadow. I cannot come out here look like a superstar. Jennifer, people see the king, right? But nobody sometimes knows the kingmaker. Because the king looks so good, the king sounds so intellectual, so smart, and so on and sometimes, but nobody knows sometimes the kingmaker who makes the king look good. So you are one of the people that make me feel smart, feel intelligent, and so on, because you help me along the way. And I can run some game from you, and I know it comes from a place of great intention. And once again, welcome Zamin Hussein. Welcome each and every one. So here is our topic tonight. It won't always be like this. As I hand over to you, I would call you social worker Jennifer, our social worker, and she wear many hats, and she's very humble. You won't hear she talk much. Some people in church, you don't know what she does. She is so much, on the silent part of things. She's an introvert, I'm an extrovert. I'm extra. All right. But our topic tonight, it won't always be like this. Jennifer, I want you to deal with, let's deal with your social work. And you have able from the different you work for the city, you work for the state, you work for private, you had all this practice, and you deal with the different facets when it comes to people's situation and the downward spiral in life that they have found themselves, and some of the mental health challenges, and they're not mental wellness is not on 10 and so forth. But talk to us from that standpoint that that you see in terms of you encouraging them and working with your craft, that it won't always be like this.
Yeah, thank you, Pastor Seon. Yeah, like you were saying, I am an introvert. I don't speak unless I have something to say. So with my background in social work, I work in several places. I work for child welfare. I work in a behavioral hospital. Now we have like really challenging patients who really need our prayer these days because they're in situation that they can't get out. And a lot of people think that medication is the whole overall cure of these patients, but sometimes prayer works. But we need people in the community, we need churches in the community to come to these mental health facility and pray for these people. They need a lot of prayer, because I have patients that come in and all they want to take their life is all about suicidal, all about with a plan. They have some of them coming without a plan. And sometimes I have to pray myself up before I enter this environment, because if I don't pray myself up, most of those things are spirits. It will enter you. And that's why I'm calling on the community that we need to get a group of people to come into these places and pray for these people, because they need our prayers. And prayer work, because if we are believers, we have to believe within ourselves that we can go out there in the community and help these people. And as a social worker and a woman of God, I believe that once we go out there and take it to the next level, because everything, we could be on this level, but then we need to go higher. I know we can't raise up ourselves, but God can raise us up. Once we put forth something, God is right there behind us to push her even higher, to the higher calling. So if we are called as man and woman of God, we can go out there and make a difference. The people in the world, they're making a lot of difference in their environment. So what happened to us? What happened to us? We supposed to be over the people in the world, because we supposed to now bring the people from the outside into our environment. And that's what we are lacking. That's where we need to build up more of the community. Go out there, evangelize. What happened to that? We're not doing that anymore. So Pastor Seon, tell me what's lacking of why we're not going out there.
I think before I answer the question, welcome James Waldron. And James Waldron is a friend that we go way, way back since boy days where we play tire, we play cricket and swim and so on. And I know him as Odwin, but James is his right name. So Odwin, welcome tonight. I think he's watching from the Turk and Caicos. And is a young man I look up to. He's like probably 5 years older than I do, but I look up to him growing up. He always smart, always carry a book. When I carry a bat or carry a tower piece of wood, he always in a book. He always with something educational in his hands when I'm playing around. But Rodwin, thank you for tuning in from the Cayman Islands, and to God is using you. Thank you very much, my brother. He's a Liverpoolian. Yay, Barbician, for the Cooperative Republic of Barbados. You understand? Yeah, the Cayman Islands. We're from the Cooperative Republic of Barbados. Nevertheless, to get back on track in the Super Soul Sunday, the reason why evangelism sometimes becomes challenging is because even the place should evangelize still suffering from mental health also. There may be suicidal ideation cases, but then in the place where we should be free, you see, mental health is not easily detected for everyone. It's just like some depression. Not everyone you can detect that they're going through depression. Stress. It's not everyone can detect that they're going through stress. They have stressful situation that stress is wearing them down. So you cannot go into an environment not knowing you yourself really need help. So I understand why it is the most need for evangelism. But when you go in where there are spiritual ramification, because suicide and depression and all these things, though it's a natural thing, they have spiritual ramification. And I love where you were taking me in terms of evangelism. But if you are not free, if you're not free as a child of God from mental health, therefore you can go and bring people into mental wealth. You see what I'm saying? Because you have to detect that this is a situation that must be prayed for. You got to know how you're going to really talk to these people. Because, and over to you quickly, because let me go on the other side of the coin, social work. Welcome, Nelta Campbell. Welcome, Nelta Campbell. You're welcome. But let me put it this way. If you go into evangelism and you recognize that you can deal with somebody who have spiritual ramification, you're going to use yourself. Welcome, Oliver Jones. Over the situation. For example, I go into the evangelism, pastor, whatever, go into the evangelism, and I recognize you telling me about the depression, right? Social work, Jay. And I gonna say, well, you know, this never happened to me. So basically, I use your situation side and minister to you. I just throw myself above you now. So I left with you still with the problem, but there's no solution. So evangelism is great, but you have to be prepared. So what I want us to deal with now tonight, because we need to understand, and from your social work background, because of our topic tonight, it won't always be like this. You have some people in the congregation, Sister Jennifer, that are struggling. They're struggling with their identity. They're struggling with crises, and they're asking themselves, like, when my crying is going to be over? When what I'm going through is going to be over? And that same posture bring depression. That same posture bring men. That's why we in the church and don't know we're going through mental health. That's why we don't know. Arita Sampson, thank you for tuning in tonight also. And we don't know where this weighing down is coming from. Like some people in church, they tell you last night I didn't sleep, I feel like thing crawling on my face, I feeling tinkling here. And we know it's not the anointing. And then you get into the end of it is that they're stressed. Something in the praise team, they're in the choir, sometimes they're in the ministerial entourage, probably there's the intercessor, but they're going through the stress. They know when they're gonna pay their rent, when they're gonna pay a light bill, when they're gonna, you understand what I'm saying? So help us tonight from your social work standpoint and so on, and being a Christian for a number of years, so we can help people. Oliver Jones, they say, welcome, Sister Jennifer.
Thank you.
Over to you.
So, Pastor Seon, like you were saying, like with my experience, you know, that's the reason why now we have to have the spirit of discernment. Mm-hmm. We have to start praying and ask God to give us the spirit of discernment. A lot of people ask God for other things. When I kneel and I pray, the things that I'm asking God for is things of the spirit, because the natural things I can work and get, but the spiritual things come from God. So when I kneel down and I pray and I say, God, give me the spirit of discernment. So when I go into this building, if I could only have one word, if I could only save one person, that's enough that God would give me even more. He would add more to what I have. Like when I was in work the other day, and I don't really like to do therapy, but they called me up to do therapy, and I did some therapy with a group. And just hearing the people, all they need is someone just to hear what they're going through. We have to have like patience. Patience is something when you're dealing with people with mental health, you must have patience. That's all they want. They just want someone to listen to them and say yes. We can say yes. I can't say yes to them that I know what they're going through because I haven't been there. Because it's not a good thing to be out of your mind. When you're out of your mind and you're not operating in your rightful mind, that's not a good thing. God did not call us to be operating out of our mind, but situation, life make us that way. Because we put so much pressure on ourselves. Oh, I have to be this person. I have to be that person. Because sometimes we want to be something that we're not. We are putting ourselves like to be like I want to be like Pastor Seon, knowing that we can't be the same. I can't be like you. You can't be like me. Because we all called to do different things. But they have some people want to be like everybody. And that's when they go out of their mind. Stress take over. After stress, depression stepped in. After depression, suicidal start stepped in. And when you get to that state with suicide, is either you have a plan or you don't have a plan. And that's where everything falls in your life. So that's why I'm saying this, that the spirit of discernment is very important. So that's why when I go up there, I try to talk to the people. They don't want us to talk about God, because that's not part of the healing process. They think medication is the healing process for these patients. But I truly believe if we bring back prayer into certain areas in mental health, I think a lot of people would benefit from it. But what they say, it take a village to raise, right? To raise children. But sometimes it takes one person who really care about patient to make a difference in an environment. I truly believe that.
We have one person here, Jennifer, is saying that my view is that as a people, let me read it from this other screen.
Okay.
My view is that, and that is James A. Waldron, is saying, my view is that as a people, me first need to accept that mental health is real. So you gotta accept that there is a problem. Some people there, and this is what I'm gonna complete the bottom part of your question just now, James. Some people, because Jennifer, and you also a Guyanese, now you are Americanese. Like I'm a Guyanese, I'm Americanese and a Georgianese now. But our culture forced us in our upbringing not to accept the fact. The truth is a stubborn thing. Our society, which we grew up in, our environment, more trained us not to accept that you have an issue, not to accept that you have mental things going on. Because if they try to tell you and you start to accept, you feel like they're looking down upon you and they bring you to a place of shaming. So they allow you to go until you are unrepairable. So like when you get the depression, the suicide, and your body start releasing that chemical fluid, and then your adrenaline start working, and right there you're about to commit suicide or to take somebody's life, then they recognize now you need to go to the mental institution. So James is saying, Jennifer, my view is that people must first need to accept that again. So I love what you said with the spirit of discernment. Now they don't really need God at the time because of the religion, but to get them at the acceptance part. Accept that you need help, and now you got to know what language you can use. You know, it's not you need help. You're mad. You're crazy. You're cuckoo. You're dumb. You know, like how that is what our culture. I don't know which part of your culture. I'm from Berbice, the Cooperative Republic of Liverpool, and in Liverpool, we can sometimes stupid. You're dumb. You need help. You see, you're cuckoo. You're crazy. And sometimes at that time you are drifting more into that shade of gray. Because now you hear it so much, you become numb to that. Really, there's an issue you have. There's something need to be addressed. And John's last question, part of the question, and then over to you, because you are the most suicidal, you are the most specialist than I do. And he says, is that health is real, mental health is real, and can be treated by the spirit of man's intervention. So when you recognize that you have a help, you need to see the sources of help. What happened in society now? Nobody tried to get you to the source of help. They tried to talk you down.
Well, that's
and then
why
you recognize when you recognize your body is releasing these hormones, and you recognize that your body releasing fluid, and these things are out of whack, and you don't know who to talk to because the only person you see in front of the person is beating you down. Now over to you, the social work, Jennifer McKay.
Well, what I was going to say, Pastor Seon, as a social worker, they say to us that we have to meet the client where they at. So if I'm meeting you at the place of nothing, I now have to empower you. Whatever I have inside of me, I have to empower you so you could be at the place of where you're supposed to be. And let's get back to the culture. I am from Guyana, but I was raised in New York, Brooklyn, New York. And, going to school here, all my education was done in America. But what I realized, and this is like, I'm talking physically like for the people of the islands, a lot of island people they don't believe in mental health.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think mental health is real because, growing around, being around most Guyanese in Brooklyn, like when I hear growing up, like a couple neighbors was living next to us, and they would say, oh, there's nothing wrong with her. She's gonna get over it. My cousin was like that, and she grew out of that. But mental health starts as a young child. But we as a culture, and I'm not talking culture outside of Guyanese, I'm talking about the island people. We look at it as, they're gonna get past that. That's nothing. I have a cousin who went through the same thing, and they got over it. But when outside of now, of the Guyanese population, the American believe that mental health is real. We have to come to the realization and say, yes, as a West Indian, yes, my child have problems. Yes, there's something going on. Let's seek help before it get past to the point that you can't help her anymore. And then when you can't help her, then they say, the child is disobedient. The child is not listening to me. She like her own way, so I'm going to just hands off. And that's where the child go down. And then when the child is down that you can't pick her back up, then you run to God and say, oh God, help me. I don't know what I have done. But because you didn't take care of the problem when the child was seeking help, you choose and say there was nothing wrong with the child. So this is why I'm coming together. We need to bring our community back together and tell these people, tell the families that mental health is real. Every day when I go into the hospital, I see young adults, very educated. When I'm talking educated, I'm talking about psychiatrists, young psychiatrists in there because they don't know how to function on their job as to help the people. So if we have a psychiatrist who who is in a mental health facility seeking help. Who are we to say we can't end up there? That's why we have to realize that mental health is real.
And also, Jennifer, welcome Nisette Walcott. Oh, Nisette, thank you for tuning in tonight. Nisette, big up yourself. She's a Liverpoolian too. Like, y'all coming out tonight. Like, James sent you a text, Nisette. And welcome, Akeisha Endley. Welcome, Akeisha and Melissa Conway. Ha. Oh, my, the Barbicious is on board. Welcome, Melissa Conway. Welcome, Quincy Adolphus Gomes. That's the world boss. That's my dad, mind you. The world boss. But, Jennifer, in our culture that we were raised and in our society, we normally use a word when we don't understand how to convey the mental health. It's like, get over it. Get over it. For those tonight who may be in that environment, please, in the abundance of caution, never use the word to somebody that you detect that have issues, which is mental health. Mental health people don't want to deal with somebody who is insensitive. That is a gray area. Never tell somebody that word. Get over it. And that's come back to an experience I had. I was a co-host of a program that was running for a while. And there was I don't want to call it title, but was a big title in the Christian sect, was the host. And used the word, get over it. And I said, we cannot tell anybody listening on this line, get over it, because it can be a suicidal recipient. And it can come from we being the source. The hierarchy in the Christian sect closed down the program, closed down the platform. So what I'm saying, that's why I use in the preambles that even in the church functioning in high position also, and it brings back to when you talk about psychiatrists also suffering from mental health, we need our wellness check to be great. So Jennifer, how can we help someone here to detect when someone in the family, maybe a son, a daughter, aunt, uncle, that at that juncture that they can start looking for things that recognizing this can be a mental health issue, or what they can look for? What are some signs that they can look for and start having that conversation?
Change in behaviors. Once you see there's a change in behavior, and when I say change in behavior, I'm talking about isolation. They stop doing the things that they love. If you notice that your child loves to read, or your child like to go outside and be with the other children, or even an adult like going out with friends, and every of those things start like easing down or stop, there's a problem. That's where you step in. You be like, sweet, what's going on? What's happening? And you can see the change in people behavior, because behavior in mental health you can actually see it. It's not something hidden. You can notice a behavior change. And once that change, that's when you start seeking help. Is there somewhere I can take you to talk to someone? Or if you don't want to talk to me, I have another friend that you can talk to. So that's where we have to start. We have to start looking at people's behavior. And then they do have some people who are very good that can hide those behaviors. And you don't know that what is really going on with them. So that's the reason why now that's where the spirit have to step in. Because they have some people who are silent person, silent controllers. They know how to control their emotion. And you can see them day after day after day. And you would not know that they have mental health. You would not know that they're going through something. And they would come and they will laugh and they would be happy with you. But inside they are suffering. How would you now know that this person is suffering? If you don't have, and this is where the spirit of discernment coming, because we have a lot of young children who, even in church, they're going through something. And if you standing at the place of authority and you don't feel that connection, that God is speaking to you and say, this child is ready to commit suicide. This one is very depressed. Go get, and we have to understand that just giving someone a hug can change a whole setting of a person understanding, of a person feeling. Because I remember when I was at this church, and this child was actually crying out. No one knew. And the pastor said from their place of authority, she said, I need a real mother. Because everyone could be a mother, but not everyone could be a real mother. I need a real mother to go down there and give that child a hug. You see, when she went down there, when that woman stand up, and she went over to that child and give that child a hug, everything came out. The release of the child, she wept. And that's all she needed, because she never had a mother to hug her. She was raised by her father.
Oh. We have Camilla Corlett says so true. Welcome, Emily Durant. Emily Durant is from the Cooperative Republic of Lancaster. Welcome, Emily Durant. Welcome, Alicia Davis. She's from the Cooperative Republic of New Jersey. Welcome, Alicia Davis. And James A. Walton is saying, change in mood, change in hygiene, and emotional shift. So these are things he's saying that you can detect. Emily Durant say good night, everyone. Apostle JD Platt say good night, sis. Alicia Davis say you are so right. James A. Waldron said emotional intelligence is the key, my brother. So continue,
yes.
Miss Jennifer McKay.
Yes, like I was saying. So once she got that hug, it's like everything just break away from her. The release of that child, when I see that, I was like, my God. So you can be suffering in silence and people don't know. People don't know, because that's the most highest killing person, is the silent killer. Emotion. When you can't release your emotion, because a lot of people don't believe in going to counseling. A lot of people don't believe in going and talk to someone, because guess what? I don't want that person to know my business. I don't want that person to know that I'm suffering from some kind of mental health. I don't want, maybe, and in their mind, because their mind, when you're out of your mind or trying to get back into that mindset, people can be whispering in your ears. The other person can be whispering in your ears. God is trying to help you. The devil is on the other side telling you, oh, you'll always be like that. Why Jesus is telling you life would not always be like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have two battles, and the mind is where the battlefield is. So if you're battling on the good and the bad, a lot of people can't control and be like, get away, get there behind. So what they end up on the bad side, even though God is speaking to them, because sometimes God is speaking and we not hearing. We are hearing what we want to hear. So all of that come in part of mental health. So we have to come together and start meeting the patient, meeting everyone out there where they at. I totally agree with and believe that if we meet people where we at, we can start by there, and things can turn around. Things can really turn around.
And Chevron Cummins says good night. Apostle J.D. Prasad said good night, blessings. Chevron Wilson says good night, guys. Zamin Hussein says good night, everyone. Apostle J.D. Prasad says so true, sis. Your children need prayers. Apostle J.D. Prasad said amen. Chevron Wilson says so true. Oliver Jones said blessed Sunday, Pastor Seon and followers. Arita Sampson said good night. Oliver Jones said welcome, Sister Jennifer. Apostle J.D. Prasad says Sister Jennifer, love you and blessings. Akisha Edley said good night, everyone. Oliver Jones said amen, amen. World Boss said amen. Pamela Corlett said amen. Emily Durant says good night, everyone. everyone. Pamela Corlett says, so true. Apostle says, so true. Speaking says, Alicia Davis says, you are so true. And she says, speak. Also, I see Onesta Cornetta. Welcome, Onesta Cornetta. Welcome tonight. Jennifer McKay. And we want to help people if they have never get that call. But before we get there, there may be an awareness that someone is suffering from suicide ideation. Someone mental health is challenged. They're not mentally whole. They are suffering from the mental wellness. And because in that conversation, the person says they're going to commit suicide because may not even use it in coded language detectable. Like you said, they can suffer from inside. Like some people said, you know, I can do you a favor and I can do you all a favor. I can call it quit. They're telling you what they have in their mind to do. But that person can be a postponer. So talk to us tonight, not because a person is too fat, you feel they're too fat that they're not going to commit suicide because they say they're joking. Not because somebody is too fine that they're too fine they're not going to commit suicide because they're just joking, or they're too tall, or they're too short, or they're too wealthy, or they're too poor. Talk to us tonight about that. Then we're going to go to another ramification.
Yes, Pastor Seon. So with the postponers, we have a lot of people who are in our mental health hospital that came in with a plan, but they actually didn't execute the plan because they wasn't ready to go. A lot of times when people say, oh, I'm going to commit suicide, that doesn't mean that they're not going to commit suicide. They are telling you what they are going to do. They expect you as a healthcare worker to come and tell me something why I shouldn't commit suicide. My life is going down the drain. I have no family. I have no housing. I have no food. I have no clothing. And you telling me that everything is going to be all right. Now, as an educator, as a social worker, now I have to come up with things to empower this person and say, life would not always be like this. Yes, I know what you're going through. Yes, I know you're trying to commit suicide. I have never been there, but I'm telling you, life is much more better than what you think it is. Yes, I might have everything, but it's not about me. It's about you. And I'm telling you that life can be better. You don't need all that thing. And then sometimes when we try and, Jesus can save you, they're not at the point to hear anything about Jesus. All they want to know, they want to be whole, and they want you to tell them something other than Jesus can save me. So what do we say to these people? We say to them, yes, I understand that you don't want to hear about Jesus, but he's the only way. But let's put aside Jesus for now. And I'm going to tell you, you cannot do anything in your life without him. But all I can tell you, life would not always be like this. Things will turn around. You will see things will turn around. Just all you have to do is believe in one thing. And once you believe in that one thing that you can get better, then everything else would fall in place. And that's when once you start talking about that, because I had session with mental health, and a lot of times when I bring like Jesus in it, they'll be like, can I leave the room? Can I go somewhere? Because the spirits is telling them whatever she's saying is not going to work for you. Yes, it worked for her, but it's not going to work for you. I never hold them back and say, no, have a seat, wait. I'll be like, if you have to leave, you have to leave. Then the ones who stayed, those are the ones know that God choose those people to help them. Because in every situation, God knows when it's your time to be delivered. Not everyone is going to be delivered at the same time. Everyone have an appointed time to be delivered. So once I start talking and ministering, even though I'm ministering, I still make it in the natural, because everything must done in the spirit before it can manifest in the natural. So what I try to do, I try to put both of them together so I can get them attention. And once I get the patient attention, who's at the point of the breaking, and they realize that nothing they can do, and they're ready to throw in the towel and say, I'm done. That's where I stepped in and said, yes, listen to this. and I would tell my story. And once I tell my story, they understand. They was like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. I don't have to say those words. I can see the expression on their face, and they will be like, yes. And at the end of the session, each of them that passed out that room, they would say, they would call me sis or Jay. They would say, Miss J, you are so right. You know, I was sitting here, and when I heard your story, you look all put together, but I did not know you were going through that. So you could be put together and still be broken.
And we have Alicia Davis says, sometimes pride can hold us back through from asking for the help we truly need in a society that isn't always kind. Vulnerability can feel risky, but asking for help is not weakness. It's courage, wisdom, self-love. Wow. That's what Alicia did. And she is so true. And Uncle Andrew says, blessing to both of you. So let's go to, there's another comment coming from James A. Warden says, before someone takes that grave step of self-harm or suicide, they are warning signs. Correct? They are warning signs, but let me deal with the church, because we more in the church thing, and then we go to the other aspect where you're going to use your expertise, where you're trained and licensed for. Above me, I am a chaplain, trained and licensed for. They are warning, like in the church, somebody gave up, we just get testimony time. And every time so I testimony, we stop and we clap, and some of us are Pentecostal mostly. Everything is the spirit and the anointing. Oh, she sings under the anointing, or he testifies under the anointing flow. But if you really put on that professional hat as a person dealing with mental health, and I as a chaplain trained to deal with mental health, you are hearing that person is reaching out for help in that same testimony. Because this is a critical thing that James is saying, that they are warning signs, but if we don't know what we're looking for, if there's certain words we're not listening for in a sentence or in a phrase, we're going to clap and we're going to cheer that person, championing them in that dark place that they are. But everybody asks out for help in a song, in a testimony. And I get something to say. Listen for certain words that they're saying to the congregation, or they're saying to their friend that they really need help. Right? So with that being said, Jennifer McKay, there are some things at this juncture we have to do while we may experience this now or even in the future. That someone called you and said, well, on the phone, of course, because phone is the most means of communication, and anywhere you be, you can use a phone call. Whether being wherever you are, phone is an iPhone, Android, all kind of phone now, fancy phone and all kind of phone, cheap phone, all kind of phone from the marketplace, phone from the cell store, phone for all over, right? But nevertheless, the point is this: somebody called you on the phone and said, "Look, I'm about to commit suicide." I want you to walk us through where it's never been a good ethic for you to cut off your phone and say, I'm going to call you back. Are you going to spread the people thing? Oh, you understand, Mary J. or this body said they're going to commit suicide. Help the family tonight to understand you are about to receive blood on your hand, because you're supposed to keep that person on the phone. And if it is a place you can get to them, you talk until you knock at that door and you can rap so they can open, and you can talk to them. Don't care if you got to lose sleep, miss a couple hours of work, somebody gonna pay you. Talk to us how important it is to just don't dismiss that person by hanging up the phone, to go and call everybody to tell them what the person tell you. Over to you, Jennifer McKay.
That is so true, Pastor Seon. A lot of people do that. But if I ever get that call with the training that I got from my education, the first thing, if someone call you and they say, oh, I'm ready to commit suicide, the first thing we're supposed to ask, what plan? How are you going to do it? People might not want to hear that, but that is the first step. What are you going to do? And they then, once you say that, they puzzled because they never had a plan how to commit suicide. They're just telling you. And we do have some people out there who are really seeking for attention and would tell you, I'm ready to commit suicide. So once you ask them, what is your plan? How are you going to commit suicide? Then if they say, well, I never really went that far, or I have, I don't know yet. So then the next step I would ask, do you have any weapons in the home? And if they said, no, I don't have any weapons in the home, and I'll be like, well, is there anyone else in the home? Oh, yes, my parents is in the room, or my husband, he's outside. And then the next step I would be like, so do you want me to talk to, call him on the phone, put him on the phone, let me have a conversation with him. I had nothing to do with what we talk about. I just wanted to make sure whatever she is saying or whatever that individual is telling me, that there's no guns in the home, there's no knives, there's nothing in there that can harm them. Then I would continue. If there's no one in the home, I would now say, I would call or I would text a friend, and while talking to that particular individual, and tell them that I have someone on the line, because I'm gonna actually text someone who's a colleague of mine who can reach out to crisis line. And then they can actually know, I could text the address and tell them I'm seeking help. I have the person on the line. You don't want to let go now of that phone call, because if you let go, they might commit suicide. So you don't want that on your hand. So you continue to talk with them, try to give encouragement, try to tell them that life, yes, life might not always be the way how you look at it, but life can get better. Life is not all about, and then you could ask them, what are you suffering from? What got you to this place? And a lot of them be like, oh, well, I don't have any money. I don't have any this. I don't have any that. But people have to understand those things are secondary. People might think those things are primary. I look at those things as secondary. You could have one suit, one dress, one shoes, one pants, and you can still have a function in life. We all cannot be rich. That's the reason why we have different level of richness. So that's why I'm saying we have to continue talking to them. Once you finish talking to them and the crisis line get there, that's it. Your job is done.
And I love what they say. Welcome, Kay Hines. Welcome, Kay Hines. And Candice Charles. Welcome, Candice Charles, Kay Hines. Welcome, Lucia Crawford. Welcome tonight. And we need to now, when they re-enter into society, I want you to walk us through how to deal with now they re-enter into society, because what happens sometimes, culture has shaped us. As a pastor, I'm the most apologetic pastor. I don't think I get any pastor apologize for preaching, teaching everything wrong. And I'm man enough. Those who follow me a long time, because culture has trained us so much wrong. And sometimes I preach a lot of things because I think it was right, but probably it was right for them, not for now. So cultures help us sometimes to ever now this person re-enter into society functioning, but they're not whole. They're on their way to wholeness. And because the culture help us now ever so often to bring up back now them to that place to relive mentally, physically, whatever is that dark place that we have the understanding they come from. So help us to understand the importance to help that person from a social work standpoint. Now they re-enter into society, how they can be on that amazing trajectory. That we can come out from that culture way to ever bringing up the past. We once commit suicide, what you telling me? And even some of the pastors, I always ask for forgiveness. Sometimes somebody confide in you in certain weaknesses in their life, right? Certain shortcomings in their life. And because there is a disagreement on a fact, or a different disagreement on a substance, you now use that disagreement something you bring back what that person confided you. Bring them now to the person face afresh as it is. Because this person trusts you at that time to be unveiled in nakedness, but now because something is not hands in gloves, you ain't forget what they told you, but you went back to your recycle bin. You can put that person straight into depression. Because now what you have done, you have break that confidentiality code and you have break that trust issue. Talk to us how to deal from a social work standpoint when this persons now want to re-enter now to their wholeness in society.
Yes. So returning back into society now, where I know I talk about medication, sometimes medication do works. Some people have to be on medication. That's just somehow it is because they not saying that God hands is short. I'm not saying that. But some people just have to be on medication to stabilize their mood because they can't function without it. And prayer can help with the medication as well. And once they're getting back into society, you have to be the person who check on them. They need someone to check in on them. Even if it's one word you call them on the phone and you say, hey, how everything going? You good today? Just tell them something good. Encourage them. People love to be encouraged. I know we always say that you have to encourage yourself, but not everyone is at that point in their life that they can encourage themselves. People out there in the world need encouragement. I need encouragement sometimes because we all fall short. And just hearing one word can push you to the way that you need to be in the right direction. So once they get back into society, we actually check up on them, see how they're doing. And then after that, we just take them somewhere that they can tell their story. You put them in a place where they can tell their story and help others who is going through the same thing. And that's where the wholeness starting to begin. The healing start to begin. You have to let go out what you have inside to let out. Because once you let that out, everything that is in you gonna start feeling more lighter and lighter.
We have Annette Thomas. Welcome, Annette Thomas. Welcome, Annette Thomas. Annette Thomas is one person that touched me, helped me when I was very small. She's from the Cooperative Republic of New Jersey. We have Latoya Smiley Pope. We have Fidel Bellums. What's up, brother? Fidel Bellums is from the Cooperative Republic of New Amsterdam. And then we have Minister Chloe Francis is watching with us tonight. And Jennifer McKay tonight, in the simplistic way, I want to thank you for our friendship, our association. I want to thank you for our camaraderie. I want to thank you for what you have done in the back room, in the back, in the, I even want to say the shadows, for the number of years being a part of my support system that helping me when sometimes I need help in various ways. And like I said, my team, not all my team I ever reveal. Some people I will reveal them as time go by. I want to thank you so tonight to know that you are one of my team in the back room, what we call the back channel. And I want to thank you tonight to rise to the occasion in 10 minutes to come and to grace the Conversation Motivational Date Night platform and continue to, Apostle J.D. Prasad could not have been here tonight because of unforeseen circumstances. Continue to pray for her and her family, lift her up, and the church, the conversation together. We will rise ministry. I just want to thank you so much. On behalf of the Conversation platform, viewers, followers, and friends, and donors, and this community of people, we just want to say thank you for the amazing job that you were doing. I can say that you are always family that just didn't know that you are part of the team that is working in the back channels for me. I just want to, she don't get paid by you, but she helped me with her education. She helped me with her experiences. She helped me. I can run some, have professional. Sometimes we have our own powwow too, because sometimes if there's always agreement, there is something wrong. If there's always seeing thing, but they must always always be a professional, amicable solution that you can maintain camaraderie, friendship, and growth spur. So with that being said, I want to thank you tonight for the amazing job that you have done. Is there anything you want to say before we close tonight?
Yeah, I just want to thank you, Pastor Seon, to having me on your show. It's been awesome, awesome. And what I want to leave with the people out there that mental health is real. Seek help. There is help out there. There's a lot of information on the website that you could just type in help for mental health. And there's so much website that you can seek for help. Don't wait until it gets too late. Reach out to someone, even if it's a friend, a pastor, a brother, a sister. What I'm going to leave with you, just seek help. It's out there. Thank you.
Once again, thank you very much. But can you wait like 3 minutes in the green room for me, please?
Sure.
And once again, family, we just want to thank you tonight. I'm so humbled by your presence. And I want you to be a sharer warrior. Just share your bread. Don't eat it alone. Someone will depend upon the nuggets tonight. Someone want to enrich the lexicon. Someone want to change the narrative, the way they see themselves, and on their way to their mental wellness. With that being said, have some moment in this week to value yourself. Have some moment to have that value time.
Wake up, feel the light, a brand new day in sight. Conversations that uplift, setting your dreams alight. Mindset shifts, empowering quotes, fueling your fire, keeping you afloat. Stay inspired daily, let your spirit soar. Our love language is value, giving you more. Join the conversation, every word counts. Motivation matters in large amounts. Stay inspired daily, let your spirit soar. Our love language is value, giving you more. Join the conversation, every word counts. Motivation matters in large amounts. Uplifting chats, start your day, guiding you gently, showing the way. Empowering words, soothing balm. In our platform, find your calm. Mindset shift, embrace the change. Stay inspired, let your goals arrange. Daily motivation, your daily lift. You got this, embrace the gift. Hashtag shift, embrace the change. Stay inspired, let your goals arrange. That's the daily motivation, your daily lift. You got this, embrace the gift. Stay inspired daily, let your spirit soar. Our love language is value, giving you more. Join the conversation, every word counts. Motivation